And welcome one, welcome all to the pregame show. It's the home opener for one of the best teams in the nation, the number 2 ranked Firebirds of Carthage, College 1-0 on the season, taking on the Eagles of Benedictine in the early season non-conference Battle of the Birds. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague tonight and most of the season, Justin Coorigan. I'm Peter Ferreri. Justin, the Birds of Carthage had a little bit of a test early on against Lakeland before some said, okay, they had a little bit of a wake-up call. Games are never going to be handed to you, and they ended up coming away with a sweep. And as for Benedictine, always one of the perennial powerhouses out of the NAC conference, the NACC, it's going to be a fun one in this non-conference matchup.
Yeah, and I think that first set, 29-27 against Lakeland, is a little bit misleading for the Firebirds. Talking with head coach J.W. Keycaver, he said they didn't even run all their starters to start the match, just kind of let some of those depth pieces get a start, get some playing time against a weaker Lakeland foe. Tonight, I think it's going to be a different story, seeing the normal starting rotation in for the Firebirds.
Talking about where these teams stand and how Carthage, the second-ranked team in the nation. Let's look at that coaches poll which brought them to this point before we put aside for the national anthem. In the CCIW, Carthage, 5 first-place votes, 25 altogether. Laura second behind. The Lures did get that 1 first-place vote. North Central, Augustana, Illinois Wesleyan, and then North Park rounding out the 6 of the CCIW rankings, and no surprise, Carthage number 1.
Yeah, and I mean, Carthage, Loras, North Central, that's always going to be a three-way battle every season, but Carthage returning so much talent, they're going to have the top spot, they're going to be the favorite, the target on their backs, but Loras, North Central, even Augustana, Illinois Wesleyan, those aren't going to be easy matches this year. The CCIW continues to get better and better across the board every single year in men's volleyball.
Yeah, now let's take a look at the players to watch, starting with the visiting Benedictine Eagles. You have none other than Radomski as your player to watch.
Yeah, and Radomski led the way last season for the Eagles, 319 kills, averaging just over 3.5 per set, and he is just a lethal weapon at the net. We'll see if he can get the offense going early here to start the season for the Eagles.
On the flip side, the Iceman, Ben Heiss, stepping up in the absence of Owen Otto.
Yeah, Ben Heiss, Coach Keycaver said about him earlier this week, he sometimes will take a little while to get going in matches, but once he does get going, watch out, the Iceman cometh.
We'll take a timeout, hand it over to Eric Elger, the public address announcer, to take us to the starting lineups and national anthem. We're live on the CCIW network.
At this time, please direct your attention to the American flag located at the north end of the arena. It draped the coffin of Captain Frank Vavrin, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Vavrin, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. Now at this time, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
And now for the starting lineups for tonight's matchup between the Benedictine Eagles and your Carthage Firebirds. First, let's meet the Eagles. Starting at libero, the 6-foot senior from Greenwood Village, Colorado, number 1, Jordan Cardenas. At setter, the 6'6 junior from Germantown, Wisconsin, number 3, Spencer Van Engen. At outside hitter, the 6'4 junior from Schaumburg, Illinois, number 9, Chris Radomski. At defensive specialist, the 6'3 sophomore from Shorewood, Illinois, number 12, Connor Hurry. At middle hitter, the 6'5 junior from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, number 15, Jacob Thomas. At middle blocker, the 6'7 junior from Henderson, Nevada, number 17, Owen O'Toole. And at outside hitter, the 6'6 sophomore from Litchfield Park, Arizona, number 18, Tucker Lambert. The head coach of the Eagles is Mike Stevens, assisted by Tori Vandelore, Matt Warner, Son Kaitan, Matt Slavinsky, and Tim Folliard. And now, fans, it's time to meet your Carthage College Firebirds!
It's getting sticky, sticky, sticky. Bro, it's getting sticky, sticky, sticky. See, I'm a west side from the zone. Knock, 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 knocking at the door. Step out the pop, just grab the foot, I'm nooking if you booking.
Pushed it away is Lewinsky.
We talk this man, but can't be my run it up. I don't fight for my respect. I fight for baby girl, I'm finna rock your.
Listen, Grayo, 3-on-3. Carthage control, set middle, 3-meter. Putting it down is Otto right in front of Callan.
Sticky situation, discombobulation. Caught me red-handed, palms itching like rosacea. Standing like ovation on business occupation. Dripping condensation, got a whisper conversations.
Starting at center, a 6'7 senior from St. Francis High School, hailing from Redwood City, California, number 6, Ryan Morey. At middle blocker, 6'3 senior from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 12, Ruben Emmerich. At opposite hitter, a 6'6 junior from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 13, Ben Heiss. At middle blocker, a 6'5 sophomore from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 14, Hudson Schweitzer. An outside hitter, a 6'5 senior from Muskego High School in Muskego, Wisconsin, number 16, Ryan Bartz. An outside hitter, a 6'2 freshman from Hilliard-Davidson High School from Dublin, Ohio, number 17, Ryan Monahan. And at libero, a 6' sophomore from Olentangy Liberty High School from Powell, Ohio, number 10, Austin Mallory. The head coach of your Firebirds is J.W. Kiekefer. Coach Kiekefer is assisted by Matthew Pilch, David Marcus, Omar Rivera, Blake Rosen, and Ryan Cholowinski.
And welcome one, welcome all. It's the home opener for the Firebirds of Carthage College as they look to add a third national championship banner to the rafters of Tarble Arena, and the first one at home starts tonight. For Justin Coorigan, I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for joining us. It's the Battle of the Birds, Benedictine, taking on Carthage. And let's go through the starting lineups now, starting with Benedictine and head coach Mike Stevens.
Yeah, you got Cardenas at the libero along with Connor Hare, Spencer Van Hagen at the setting position, 2 outside hitters in Radomski, who we mentioned in pregame, and Tucker Lambert, and then 2 middles in Jacob Thomas and Eden O'Toole. A very solid lineup front to back for the Eagles. And now looking at the Firebirds, a lot of returners from last year's group. Maury, Mallory at libero will be a new addition. Ruben Emmerich, Ben Heiss, Hudson Schweitzer, and then you got 2 additions in Ryan Bartz and Ryan Monahan.
Left to right are going to be the home Firebirds, getting loud and rambunctious, excited for what this season has in store. They are in the new black jerseys, white numbers and letters, and red trim. And Benedictine, the Eagles, flying to Kenosha in the red jerseys, black numbers and letters, white trim. Shades of the old Chicago Bulls style jerseys. Always fun to see the jersey matchups here in Tarble Arena. Benedictine, their first game of the season. Last season, 16-10 overall, 10-2 in conference play, including 7-2 on the road. They're a good team. This should be a very solid test for both teams early on.
Absolutely, and I mentioned a couple of newcomers in the lineup for Carthage. Obviously at the libero position, Mallory, a returner, but new to the position after Jack McDonald and Zach Nolan have graduated. And then you add in the freshman Monahan, who will get into more of the praise that Coach Kiecaver gave him in the preseason. And then you look at Bartz. That is Ryan Bartz, the transfer out of Ball State, which Ball State, for those keeping track at home, is one of the best Division I programs in the country. So excited to see what the D1 transfer can bring to this Firebirds offense, especially with the Firebirds down Owen Otto for the season with a knee injury.
Yeah, there's not many D3 schools that can recruit D1 products on a regular basis like the Firebirds of Carthage College.
Absolutely.
Again, waiting for the R2 to give the signal to the R1 to get things underway in Kenosha. Head coach J.W. Kike for his 7th season at the helm. Alongside him is Matt Pilch. Former players Ryan Cholowinski got a huge pop from the crowd during the introductions. Omar Rivera, Blake Rosen, and also former player David Marcus. We're about to get underway in Kenosha. It's a Thursday night in January. It's cold outside. We're about to heat things up. Bartz, the senior, with the serve, the overpass, and the first point of the home campaign goes to Carthage.
And you mentioned all the familiar names on the Carthage bench, the Benedictine bench as well. Head coach Mike Stevens used to be an assistant here at Carthage, as well as one of his current assistants, Matt Slavinsky, one of the best to ever do it at Carthage, a future Carthage Hall of Famer.
We had a fun conversation last night with one Katie Boston, middle blocker for the women's program, and she was even saying some of the young players haven't heard of the likes of Slavinsky, and she even assigned them homework. Look him up. He's good.
He was certainly fun volleyball to watch while I was a student here.
Picking things up on the far wing, Monahan. Near side poked up clean by Heiss. Set back to the near side is Lambert. Playable for Carthage. Quick set over the top, dig, pop up, one hand, overpass down, and that'll be a point for 13, Ben Heiss. Again, the libero for Carthage this season, Austin Mallory, the sophomore out of Olatangi Liberty High School. Libero for Ben Yu is Cardenas out of Cherry Creek High. That one goes out of play past the back row. Quick early point for the Eagles, tied up at 2.
It's a good attack for Bartz off the back, just not quite enough on top of it. Couldn't find that back line.
Number 7, Trace Samaras out of Itasca, Illinois, with the serve. Floats it back, picked up clean by Mallory. From the left side, huge double block. Oh boy, Trace Samaras. Solid job on the far side. Alongside him, 17, Ian O'Toole, the 6'7" middle blocker. And that's one small thing to keep in mind is in the starting lineup currently for Carthage, it's not the height that they've been used to at that middle blocking position. So timing going to be a little more important this year, but there's not much you could do to stop the free swinging Ruben Emmerich.
Yeah, and I think the speed's going to have to be a more important factor on the offensive end, how they can move the ball in transition when you don't have a Cholowinski, a Zach Boltheis, the guys they've had in the past couple of years who have been an enormous part of both the offense and the defensive end of the ball.
Back at the service line, the Iceman, Ben Heiss. Lefty off the tape. Playable for the Eagles. Near side, triple block, top to bottom. Ryan Monahan, the freshman. We heard yesterday from some of the rumblings of the Carthage faithful that keep your eye out when you see the speed of the freshman. Huge impact player. They said favors and has shades of some of the greats of the recent years for the Firebirds, and is going to fit right in, does so there with that swing. Side swipe to keep it alive is Bartz. Quick one over the top, missed time, playable for Carthage. Quick set back in, pushed over Emmerich. No go of it, triple block again. Ryan Monahan, the 6'2 freshman, jumping out of Tarble early on. Carthage 2-point lead.
Just the energy he's bringing to the court right now. This does not give you freshman in his second collegiate volleyball game vibes. He is acting like a senior leader on this court.
Quick pass near side, block back down is Emmerich. Another point quick for Carthage. Not a lot of long rallies in the first 9 points at Tarble Arena. Serving yet again Ben Heiss out of Middleton, Wisconsin. A lot of Middleton products for the Firebirds. One of the challenges you could say last year for Carthage, it was feast or famine from the service line. But Coach J.W. Kiekefer has said the entirety of his tenure here, just keep swinging.
Yeah, he promotes that aggressive swing at the service line, and they live by it, they die by it. Some days it's really effective, other days they struggle with it.
Well, that's not going to be a struggle for Monahan. He can block, he can swing, and let's see what the young man's going to do now from the service line out of Dublin, Ohio. We'll have that full scouting report on his high school tenure as the game progresses. But again, with one automatic Owen Otto out for the season with a lower extremity injury, it freed a spot. Swinging through his Monahan, not able to deliver.
Yeah, I think most teams you'd see, oh, you lose your one first-team All-American injury for the year, your season's over before it starts. Carthage's depth is showing, and number 2 in the country with losing your All-American, that bodes pretty well.
Yeah, and I have to get further clarification, Justin, but based on what we were told this week, because of the injury, he is eligible for an extra year of eligibility. So this is his junior year. Next year it'll be his redshirted junior year. So just shows you the future bright for Carthage. Off the lights, and some may say a shorter ceiling for the men's volleyball game. Reminder, if it hits on your side of the ceiling and you play it, it is playable. If it hits and goes over, dead ball, point to your opponent. That goes middle of the net. 2 service errors out of 2 of the last few serves. And you just had one of the assistant coaches for Carthage fix the pants on the left leg of one J.W. Kiekefer, who was creeping up into the cool shoes he always wears. I keep saying he's got to hook me up, and he just laughs at me. Understandably so. 4-point lead for Carthage.
To be fair, he laughs at all of us when we ask about his shoe game.
Yeah. Ryan Morey, the senior setter, floats back row just over the end line. And again, there's only so many reps you can get in the gym in practice time, and then when it's live rounds, changes things up a bit, get those early season jitters out of the way now. Again, the CCIW is going to be brutal yet again. And some even say maybe closer than normal in recent years. And dodging out of the way is Ice. 7-11.
Slurpee time? We're going to have a partnership with...
We need to make that happen. Do you have a favorite flavor?
Ooh.
Or color?
I have not had a Slurpee in so long. I can't even tell you where a 7-Eleven is around here.
Well, you got one off of whatever road that is I take out of the Summers exit. It's attached to a gas station. So about 3 minutes from here.
That's the one up by, over by Parkside?
Parkside, yeah, right next to Parkside.
Yep, I forgot about that one.
What street is that?
That is County Road E in Green Bay.
I always just take Summers exit and it leads me to the doorstep.
339.
I used to take the one by the Harley-Davidson exit, but I'm like, that's too much zigzagging. I want one line.
Yeah.
12-8.
As long as you don't hit a train on that Summers exit, you are.
Yeah.
It's a smooth straightaway right to get to campus.
In now 19, Eric Stover, the Lake Villa product. Looks to be one of the rotational serve specialists for Carthage early on in the season. And like we know with Coach Kiekafer, now is the time to find who indeed are going to be my rotational serve specialists. If something happens in the middle of the season, late in the season, who's going to be able to step up into that row even more so? So good to see Stover getting some early swings.
Yeah, you've got to find those people that you can depend on at the service line as you approach match point in tight games. Can't be affording service errors late.
Samaras serves, picked up by Mallory. High back set, left hand pushing through. Number 13 again, Ben Heiss. And what a start for him. 13-9 your score. And a stellar job thus far for Heiss. Just all around the court.
Now, Heiss led the team in kills with 10 in the win against Lakeland on 22 attempts. Just really taking care of the ball, and he didn't even get off to a hot start like he has tonight.
The back set to the back line. Who else? The lethal lefty, Ben Heiss.
Being able to add a lefty that can spot the ball as well as he does adds so much of a dynamic to your offense. Makes that line have to protect on both ends, the cross shot and the line shot.
Service error for the Carthage College Firebirds. Stop me if you heard that before. So again, something they're working through the kinks.
That's already service error number 7 on the night. 7 of the 10 Eagles points have come off the service errors of Carthage.
From the big block back down. Huge block. Tucker Lambert out of Litchfield, Arizona says no, thank you.
Always interesting to see the different celebrations that various benches bring into Tarble Arena as that one sails far.
Bit too much behind the serve by Chris Radomski out of Schaumburg. Your player to watch. So point right back. Monahan, the freshman. As the season progresses, it'll be fun to see the progression of this young man. Errant pass by Van Engen. And that stays in. Solid pass, keeping it alive for number 3. And so often, Justin, you kind of find yourself out of position, and Van Engen was able to bring it right back into play.
Yeah, I think especially the more and more the offense happens at the net, hitting straight down, teams tend to creep up and leave that back line a little overexposed.
From the near, Bick, playable. Triple block, chicken wing, not on a Thursday. It's a boneless wing. Birds up by 4. Carthage 16-12 of Benedictine.
Are you more of a bone in or boneless?
It depends on the day. Nowadays, usually boneless. But if, the other night, the missus, I think it was Monday, brought home some actual wings, and I was a happy camper. You?
I go the same. If it's in the terms of Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop, it goes whichever's the bargain day.
Yes.
If it's bone in, buy one, get one, I'll go with that. That's fine. Boneless, sure.
Yeah, whatever's cheaper on that given day, I'll eat. Longest rally of the evening. To the near pin, hits the pin. Radomski again came up firing, and if it wouldn't have hit that pin, that was in. 5-point lead.
Yeah, I think that's the right idea for Radomski there. Just didn't get enough of it across the line and clip the pin just enough.
And Justin, while we have a moment, if anybody's interested in attending Carthage, what can they do to apply?
They can take the next step in your educational journey with Carthage College. The admissions process is simple. Whether you're an undergraduate, transfer, graduate, or international student, visit carthage.edu/apply for details or contact our admissions team at 800-351-4058. Once again, that's 800-351-4058. Or email admissions@carthage.edu. We look forward to welcoming you to the Firebird family.
Yeah, it's a growing family, an expanding family. You know, whether you're in athletics or any respective sport, or, you know, the great esports program as well, it's truly one of the few schools that, you know, has, I always use this as an example, and regardless of the sport, when I have conversations with opposing coaches, when you hear people say, oh, that guy could be starting for any D1 program, I think that tells you all you need to know, and it's the same situation here. A lot of these players with Carthage could be at the D1 level. Choose Carthage for the atmosphere it brings and the opportunities and the well-roundedness, and always a great place to consider when you're thinking about your college options. Back at the service line, number 12 for the Birds, Ruben Emmerich. One ace coming into tonight's contest. Last year, Emmerich had 11 aces. Oh, the kick. And just not able to get the fingers underneath it. Austin Mallory, oh, so close. And that, you know, that just shows the wherewithal, the court awareness for Carthage. I mean, other players may not have been able to get there. He gets there and able to put an effort in.
Absolutely. That almost just an instinctual play to just put a limb out of any kind to make contact, try and keep the play alive.
The chants continue for Carthage. Morey, left side. Benedictine looks back row. Is there a touch? No touch. Jaron Lindsay puts a bit too much behind it.
Head coach Mike Stevens of the Eagles just saying, hey, that's okay, reset. It was a good look. Just didn't quite hit it right. Reset, next play.
A hop serve by Morey. High pin near side. Oh, nice pass. Oh, that was the best pass of the evening for Benedictine. They had a crisp one earlier on as we were lauding, but that one, it had Carthage fooled.
And you're starting to see Benedictine's offense start to get in a little bit more of a rhythm here late in the first set. The passes just seem a little bit more crisp than they did in the first 10, 20 points.
Service error by Lindsay. Favor for favor. Carthage 1 point away from the red zone. Shout out as well, head women's coach Leanne Ulmer in attendance, one of the best women's coaches in all the nation as well. The cross-coaching support at Carthage is something to behold. Bartz had the power serve from the back row. How about that? Say my name for the B-man, the killer bee, Ryan Bartz. Wow.
Bart's going from back row to service now, and what an addition he was able to get. Hit the transfer portal with the coaching change at Ball State. So that one goes into the net, but still just a stellar pickup when you can get anyone from a higher division in any sport at the Division III level, get someone coming down, it usually ends up paying off pretty well for you.
Out of play, that aggressive serve goes for Radomski. 21-15 does head coach Mike Stevens utilize his second timeout. Won't happen here, as in to serve Eric Stover. Stover already has an ace on the season in his one set played. Through the rafters it goes, playable. Nice up by Morey. Back set, powering through. Carthage resets. Heiss, left side, the rollover to the left. Not able to adjust, Jacob Thomas. Carthage needs 3.
Coach Stevens still letting them play here. Got to think a timeout's coming in the next point or two.
Mike Stevens assisted by Tori Vandelore, Matt Warner.
Ace for Stover there. Second one of the season now, and that is going to force the timeout.
And that, as we mentioned, Justin, is why you have players as serve specialists. Coach Kiekefer, I hate to say it, but we're going to compliment him as we can so easily do, looks for those type of players. Think about this, the likes of a Ruben Emmerich, he was your serve specialist in years past, now in the starting lineup. So you find a player like Eric Stover and say, hey, you may not hit the starting 6, but when we need a rotational serve specialist, specialize in that. Be the best at it you can be, and you will get on the court, and that's what we've seen so far.
And I think that's just in general of volleyball. You see players develop better if they can get themselves into a serve specialist role, get to experience that court time a little bit versus riding the bench for 2 to 3 years and then having to hop into gameplay after not seeing it for 3 years in real time.
Well, we have a moment. Let's thank Badger Bus.
For over a century, Badger Bus has provided safe and reliable transportation between Wisconsin and Minnesota. Whether for work, school, or a big game, Badger Bus ensures comfortable travel with daily routes, charter services, onboard Wi-Fi, and professional drivers. Experience why generations trust the red and white buses. Learn more at badgerbus.com and book your next trip today.
Carthage 2 away from a convincing set 1 victory, 23-15. Your score, Justin Coorigan, Peter Ferreri on the CCIW network. Stover with a unique setup at the service line. Drops it in for play. To the near pin, and they go right into the back row for Bartz. Power ball for Ben Yu. They're not out of it yet.
Great coach's point there for Coach Stevens, getting the point off the timeout, getting the offense to reset, come up with a good attack, and finally force the side out and force Stover back to the bench.
Hudson Schweitzer comes in and out of the contest. Morey, Emmerich, ice in the middle. Mallory in the back row. High return by Bartz. Near side for Heiss, and it goes out of play. Set 1 point for Carthage. So Ben Heiss lines up.
Joe Kolwitz in the set for the Firebirds for this set point. Saw Joe get the start against Lakeland. First career start for the Firebirds.
The overpass. I think they're trying to call antenna. Still alive, Mallory. No reviews here at the D3 level. Is there a tip? No tip. Point goes to Ben Yu. Coach Stevens clamoring that went over the pin.
Well, we could have had a chance there too. They actually did add challenges, coaches' challenges for the D3 level this year.
Oh, thank you for that.
So we could
update.
see a review here at some point. Each
that.
team gets 2 challenges in a match.
You know, I saw the green cards down there, but wasn't sure. So thank you for that update. Left hand Mallory, so you will see some more continuations of play on the back set. And that goes out of play as well. Slow to get up is Heiss.
Prior to the start of the match, I was talking to Coach Kiekefer about trying to convince him let's add a little bit of dramatic flair to it. Let's do what wrestling does, give you a nice big foam block that you throw out into the court when you want to challenge something. He didn't seem to go along with it, so we're sticking with the little cards for now.
Resetting that far side pin. It was attacked heavily on the last attempt. Carthage.
Go ahead. It's also interesting to get used to being able to go around the net again the way they did there, especially at the start of the season when that's a rule in men's that's legal. Well, we don't see that in the women's season in the fall.
Exactly. And what do we exactly see? Carthage winning set 1, 25-18. We'll take a very brief timeout. When we come back, set 2 action on the CCIW Network. And welcome back to the CCIW Network. I'm Peter Ferreri alongside Justin Coorigan. Set run going the way of Carthage, 25-18. We appreciate you being with us this Thursday evening in January. The home opener for Carthage College. They welcome the season opening game of the Eagles of Benedictine out of sunny Lisle, Illinois. That's a hot way to start. Over the middle it goes. Number 15, the big man, Jacob Thomas, the junior, out of Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Last year, 115 kills for Thomas. And a service error for number 9, Chris Radomski.
Thomas on the air had game high 11 kills twice on the air, once against Rockford and the other against Aurora, both in NAC play. See if he can get that offensive system rolling again this year.
To the left pin over the triple block, playable. Up by Maury. Emmerich back to ice, and he brings it down. Why not? Ben Heiss with the ice pick. Delivers yet again. Serving, Schweitzer. And one of the Middleton, Wisconsin boys. Point goes to Benue. Emmerich, Heiss, and Schweitzer, all high school teammates from Middleton High.
That's something that adds a whole nother layer to just the chemistry of the team. If
Yeah.
you can get that many guys who have played together, not just for a few years for you, but for up to 4 years together in high school as well, potentially club time together.
Big swing for Benedictine. They've gained the lead early on in set number 2, and this is what we kind of came to expect throughout set number 1. They just couldn't quite close the gap late in the set. Starting out hot is exactly how you want them to start if you're an Eagles fan. Tip off the kill attempt by Monahan, the freshman. And don't want to say a pleasant surprise for Carthage, but thrust into a increased role is Monahan, and he's done nothing but deliver.
Absolutely, and it's going to be special to watch him for the next couple of years now, seeing what he's already been able to do just in the first 4 sets of his career.
Huge ups by Carthage, but that goes right over the perch. Benedictine back up by 1. First point recorded by Owen O'Toole, excuse me.
On the day, Connor Muff, the R1. Francisco Torres Rivera, the R2. Our line judges, Scott Prox and Anthony Chan, here in the home opener.
Well, Scotty Prox, legendary official. You know you got him on the crew. You know it's a grade A crew. And Benue, nice little run early on, and it may not seem like much, but an early lead so valuable when you're already down 1 set. Continuing at the service line. Deep breath and delivery by Van Engen. Out of play it goes. Van Engen, a familiar name.
That serve sailed far, took a hop over previously mentioned women's volleyball starting middle, Katie Boston, working as a student photographer tonight, the athletic communications department.
To the back pin, 1v1, nice set. Oh, playable by Heiss, but it goes out of play. Nice job by Benedictine, really spreading apart that front row of Carthage, just kind of clamoring at the end where the Firebirds are not able to get a good hand on it.
Yeah, that's something I think Benedictine's done a better job on in the late half of the first set, and so far in set 2 is just spreading out that triple block. Anytime Carthage was able to set up that triple block in set 1, it was lethal. As Carthage gets another kill right there, bring him back within 1.
At the line, Ruben Emmerich. Huge top spin. Cardenas able to pick up the pieces, but the triple block. Schweitzer, 12-6. We're all tied up at 6.
And again, that block is just so lethal when they can get it lined up. Benedictine's got to be able to spread out Carthage's defense just a little bit better. Carthage having way too much time right now to get set up.
Just out of play it goes, and for the first time this season, 6-7. We have not yet, and I've been waiting, we have not had a home basketball match yet this year where that's been the score.
No.
Every game
I'm
waiting.
67. We've had teams hit 67.
Yeah.
We had a youth league team here appreciate that very much over winter break.
And Benedictine just standing flat-footed. And Owen O'Toole looks back at Coach Stevens. He goes, that's okay. Perfect placement for Carthage.
Yeah, there's some plays there's just nothing you can do. They out-spot you. They execute perfectly, and it finds its mark.
We have a conversation now. Head coach Keycafer with the R2. I believe it's about where the sub took place. Now we have the R1 talking to Ben Heiss. You're not quite sure what happened there, Justin.
Not quite. Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue was. Carthage won the point.
We're going to have a card issued. You're going to have to message down to the on-staff producers courtside for that one because I did not see a thing, but we're up in the rafters and not courtside, so a lot could be said. Carthage now up by 1, 8-7. Back at the service line, Maury the setter. To the left, pin down. Good up by Mallory. He's done a stupendous job in the starting lineup as the libero this season for Carthage. Double block, down and in. Right in the campfire it goes. Nice little run for Carthage, now up 9-7. Over the middle it goes. Good up by Carthage. Far pin, Heiss down. Back up by Van Engen. Poked over the top. Sloppy play, free ball. Carthage delivers. Bartz with the stinger. Timeout called by timeout going to be called by Benedictine. A 4-0 run for Carthage after that 6-7 deficit. And it's time for one Mike Stevens to regroup. And in the meantime, while Justin figures out what that whistle was about prior.
Actually have it here.
Oh,
so
wow,
we are
that's
good to
fast.
go. Sources at the scores table. We work quickly around here. It was a yellow card issued to Carthage due to a delay of game, which came on a substitution check-in issue. Reportedly, Ben Heiss checked in wrong in some way or rotated in wrong in some way, and it caused a delay of game that led to a yellow card for Carthage.
Got it. Okay, so that makes more sense why Coach Keycafer was talking to the R2 about the line. It looks like, based on hand mannerisms, it looks like he kind of just ran in from the bench instead of going to the sub line and then formally coming into play.
Almost as if he was subbing in with a libero rather than actually checking into the game.
While we have a moment, we want to thank Pepsi, the official drink sponsor, Justin, of Carthage College.
Yes, nothing beats a crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi. Whether you're cheering from the stands, hanging out with friends, or enjoying a night out, Pepsi is there for the love of it. This iconic cola celebrates everything you love, from music and sports to everyday moments. So crack open a cold Pepsi and raise it high, because life's better when you go all in. For the love of it, Pepsi. Actually, correction, the official ruling is an illegal entry on Ben Heiss.
Okay.
Which, as far as I can tell off that, resulted in a yellow card, but not a side-out loss of point.
So if my memory serves me correct, I'm like, why do I know that Van Engen name? Likely that Spencer Van Engen, the younger brother of Jackson Van Engen, who played for the Scarlet Hawks of Illinois Tech. Now, I'm putting the pieces together because it's a unique name. You know, it's like if there was a Coorigan from, you know, we'll just say Lombard, Illinois, the general area, you might guess there's a relation. So Jackson also played for Germantown High School, also out of the NACC. So there's a chance.
So you're telling, then again, it could be completely coincidental.
Yes.
When I used to work at Wisconsin Parkside, we had a wrestler, they still have a wrestler named Shane Coorigan, who also had blonde curly hair. As for those who don't know me personally, I have blonde curly hair.
Last
and
we
nobody
checked, you did.
believed that we weren't related, even though as far as I know, maybe deep down some Ancestry.com work, we'd find something, but there's no relation as far as I'm aware. Shane, an All-American wrestler at the Division II level for our neighboring friends at Wisconsin Parkside.
Nice kill. Once again by the B-man, Ryan Bartz. Lead back to 2. Last time these two teams met, 3-0 sweep in Kenosha, Feb the 14th of last season. You and I were on that call. I went and checked.
I believe there is no volleyball on Feb the 14th this year, but we have pretty much everything else going on campus. Lacrosse, wrestling championships, diving championships, a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
Everyone else on the road.
To the near pin, breaking through to the other side. Once again, the freshman Monahan, a freshman, plays at a sophomore level 3-point lead.
Stover back in. Stover's probably the easiest guy to tell when he's on the court. Those pink shoes are so bright, you could see them probably from the next gym over.
There's service error.
Ball barely caught the lower tape there. Just mistimed on the jump serve from Stover. Eagles staying within reach in set 2. They let Carthage pull away a bit in the middle portion of set 1, and it cost them.
To the left pin, double block. Out of play it goes. That's a long tool for Carthage. Lead back to 3. Benedictine already utilized their first timeout earlier on, trailing by 3. We'll see how long the leash goes midway through set number 2.
Nice looking. Get a little more efficient at the service line here. 2 service errors already and make it 3.
I don't want to play the what-if game again so early on in the non-conference schedule, but if that's something that Carthage cleans a little bit up, my goodness, how lethal can this team be? Not to say we were surprised yesterday when having our conversation with some insiders at the D3 level, talking about the prospects of this Carthage team, and they said, look, if things click, they definitely have a chance to at least hang another conference banner, if not make a deep run toward that title once again.
Absolutely. I mean, they're ranked number 2 in the country, coming in for a reason with the talent that's on this team. Just got to find a way to put it all together, and sometimes starting the year with such a tough non-con schedule could prove costly, but this team seems poised to be able to make a run with that.
Almost an ace. High return. Emmerich gets double blocked. Alive by Kolwitz, who's in the contest. You mentioned setting. One of the 2 setters for Carthage. Free ball. And a double hit going to be called on the set over the top. Lead at 4. Does Benedictine utilize their second timeout?
A couple great ups there from Kolwitz, just keeping that play alive. Not even so much when he was setting up the offense, just being aware, playing to good defense, covering that front row's block coverage.
Playable for Cardenas. Missed time on the pass. Not able to find it is Jaron Lindsay, and lead at 5. There is indeed the second timeout of set number 2 called by the Eagles of Benedictine. We will keep it here. And Justin, for all of our traveling friends out there, Lamakia Travel seems to have the answer.
Dreaming of a getaway? Let Lamakia Travel make it unforgettable with over 9 decades of experience. This family-owned Kenosha agency offers customized vacations, cruises, and tours worldwide. From tropical escapes to European adventures, their expert agents handle flights, hotels, and excursions for a stress-free experience. Trust Lamakia Travel for your next adventure. Visit lamakiatravel.com to start planning today.
Five-point lead for Carthage over Benedictine as we crunch some of the numbers that got us to this point. 6 kills apiece for Monahan and Bartz. They lead the charge. So how about that? The 2 new faces for Carthage, an immediate impact in their home opener. Carthage hitting .317 to an .024 hit percentage for Benedictine. It's just all offense for Carthage.
Exactly. They're hitting the cover off the ball right now, and the new additions, like you mentioned, they're taking an early leadership role, which you love to see out of somebody who's played 4 sets at the Division III level now, and someone who's a brand new freshman.
Waiting for the go-ahead to serve is Monahan, the freshman. Gets the ace. Wow. First ace of the season for Monahan.
That spin rate on that ball, that left his hand and it curled left almost like a good slider coming out of a right-handed pitcher's hand in baseball. Very hard to read.
Just out of play it goes. I mean, there's been more than once today I've gone and just said, okay, that really, I got glasses and everything. That really is number 17. That really is him. Swinging so strong as a true freshman. Wow. Falling away, just not able to clear the net is Radomski. The opportunities for Radomski have been there, Justin, just not able to close.
Yeah, he just hasn't been able to shake the rust off of this season debut. Have to think those will start falling for him as the year goes on, even as these two teams rematch against each other here in a few weeks. A rare 2 times you see a non-conference, the same non-conference team in a season this year. Carthage and Benedictine facing each other again on January 31st, that time down in Lisle.
7-point lead for Carthage. They're 5 away from a convincing set 2 victory. They've reached the red zone, 20-13. Taking his time before the delivery. Emmerich. The quick one. Pieces found by Schweitzer. And that's going to be 4 hits called against Carthage. And, you know, set 1, you mentioned, Justin, how many service errors Carthage had, and that's what kind of kept Benedictine alive. Carthage cutting down on those service errors in set number 2. And before this last point, it was a 7-point lead.
Yeah, I believe if my math's correct, Carthage only at 5 service errors in this set after having 9 in set number 1. So they've really locked in from the service line.
From the Bick, and not able to get the right hand underneath it is Ono Toole, the 6'7" junior out of Henderson, Nevada.
These swings from Monahan, I can't believe what I'm seeing out of a true freshman right now. This looks nothing like you'd expect a true freshman.
From the Bick, out of play. Again, just a hair off for Tucker Lambert out of Canyon View High School. Carthage within 3.
And that's been kind of the story for Benedictine here these last 15 points or so. They're just missing their spots just a hair, and it's costing them.
Blocked away, up by Mallory. Cardenas on the spot, just couldn't get enough behind it. And that's the situation. Benedictine on the spot most times, just a half second behind where they need to be.
Exactly, just a little bit late in transition, especially on the defensive end. It's throwing them out of the system enough to where they're just missing their spots when they do make the defensive stop.
The quick one, that has been successful for Benedictine today. You want to see maybe they start going back to that well play, the quick one right over the middle, and not allow that triple or double block to converge for Carthage.
Yeah, that quick middle option to Jacob Thomas is one of the few things that's working for this offense right now. You got to start to be able to utilize it a little bit more because Carthage doesn't have an answer for that at the moment.
Carthage comes back with the 1. Hudson Schweitzer, boom. Set 2 point for Carthage.
Carthage saying, hey, we can run that middle successfully too, watch us.
Picked up by Cardenas. This time from the left side and an error on the hit attempt. 4 hits called. 10-point victory in set number 2 for Carthage. Can they get the sweep, or will Benedictine force it to 4? We'll find out shortly as we return on the CCIW Network. Looking at the stats, 21 kills to 13 Eagles over Benedictine, presented by the Pullman Auto Stores of the greater Kenosha area. 326 to 0, the hit percentage difference. 6 aces to 0, 14 to 8, the service errors. Again, we said that's what's kind of kept Benedictine in to set number 1 at least. If you're Benedictine now, what are you kind of working on? What are you tweaking to maybe force it to set 4?
Yeah, I think you just got to keep moving the ball fast and finding the things that were working. We mentioned that middle, running that quick middle seemed to be working when they got Jacob Thomas in the offense. But they got to just take their time, get into position quickly on the defensive end, and then utilize a strong transition into their offense.
Teams have switched sides. In the Battle of the Birds, Carthage on their home left. Maury back in to set. Once again for Justin Coorigan, I'm Peter Ferreri. Set 3 as Carthage looks for the home sweep in the home opener.
And I believe, I'm getting reports from the table, we now have a delay of game yellow card against Benedictine for not getting back to the court quickly enough, if I'm understanding it correctly.
For that set number 3, I wondered, I shouldn't say I saw, you don't really see whistles. I mean, you can see a whistle, but I heard a whistle, and it took a while for us to get back started because we were waiting for the teams to take the court, so that adds up. Pass to Maury from the Bick. Nice up back row by Radomski. Mallory pass, Maury left hand, and Heiss gets another tool, bust out the shovel for the Firebirds.
We haven't mentioned him a whole lot tonight, but Austin Mallory is having a spectacular game at the libero position for Carthage. He's been making his spots, he's been making good first touches. It's exactly what you look for out of a libero early in the season.
Off the rafters it goes yet again. Right at the shoestrings of Ryan Bartz, and Ben Yu up by 1. And again, in all the sets so far, it hasn't been the start that's been a challenge for Benedictine, it's the end.
No, it's once they get around the 10 to 15 point range is where we've seen Carthage start to slowly pull away. Much so where I believe it was 13-11 at one point and ended 25-15 last set.
Ruben Emmerich falling away. Well, don't forget it was at the notorious 6-7. So it was a 19-8 run for Carthage to close out Benedictine.
You know, there are schools that are giving kids detentions for saying 6-7 now?
Well, mine doesn't go to that school, so think of it what you will. I'll leave it at that. When I was a kid, D-Generation X was a popular thing, and I didn't get detentions for what I said. So,
something tells me back then was a little bit more not school-friendly as 6-7.
Correct. Yeah, don't tell your teachers I got 2 words for you. Tied up at 3, but I can't see you ever getting a detention. You're a good guy.
I just never got caught.
Ah, well, fair. Point goes to Benedictine. Getting the up at the last minute was Bart's, but they couldn't quite get touch number 3. Last time Benedictine was victorious over Carthage, it was actually back-to-back years. 2019 and 2020 were 3-1 victories, both here in Kenosha and in Lisle. But ever since then, it's been a 6-match winning streak for Carthage, dating back to 2021. High back set for Benedictine, looks good. And Benedictine coming away as that goes into the net is one Ryan Bartz. And third time tonight, Justin, Benedictine has had some sets of the night and nothing Carthage can do about it. Maury keeps it in play on the spin. Cardenas keeps it alive. Near pin, triple block. Rejection flex it on for Ruben Emmerich.
Benedictine has had no answer hitting into that triple block, and what answer do you have other than to try and hit over it? But that three-headed monster at the front of the net for Carthage has been excellent all night long.
Yeah, when Carthage is able to get that clean triple, there's no way over it, there's no way through. And if you go around, it goes out of play. Another point for Carthage. Talking about the first victory for Carthage after the 2 wins in a row for Benedictine back to 2021. Carthage sat 5-3 and won. Matt Slavinsky, 17 kills, led the offensive charge. Who would have thought? Alongside second leading scorer, David Marcus. Both here tonight.
2 very memorable Carthage careers. Marcus a little more injury-ridden down the stretch, but still an incredible leader for the Firebirds during his time here.
Yeah, you throw out the names, Bull Tice, Gene McNulty. Some quality players for Carthage throughout the years. And, you know, not to continue to praise Carthage, but I think there's something to be said for when you have national championship teams, as they did in 2 of the most recent years. You say, can they keep it going? Can they keep refilling, retooling? And they've done just that.
Absolutely, and Coach Keycaver's done a great job of just continuing to bring in talent. Don't let the energy die. And there's the set dump from Ryan Morey we've been waiting for all night. To have a setter like Ryan Morey listed at 6'7" that can play front row and has a great dump as well. Comes an extra piece of the puzzle for the defense to try and read.
I thought you were saying his height on purpose.
I mean,
yeah.
it worked too. We missed when the score was added again. We were talking national championships.
We saw it.
Probably a little more important.
Yeah, I just didn't say it. I saw it, but we digress. One time a game's more than enough.
It's like the Culvers unlocks. The second you hit one, you don't have to mention again the rest of the night.
Now I want Culvers.
Closing in on it, a service ace or 11 more kills for Carthage.
Pass back to the Bick. Out of play that attempt goes. 8's on the board. And again, nothing surprising through set number 3, or in set number 3, I should say, this early on. Both teams evenly matched. Pass back in, ISO block for Carthage. Near pin, triple block. Stop me if you heard. Triple block successful. You shall not pass, says Carthage. They regain the lead.
Man, that triple block, that's something that Carthage seemed to struggle with in the past couple of years, is just getting that block tied up. These guys, for just the second game of the year, they are in sync right now with that triple block.
Point. Firebirds, they're on a little bit of a run now. Tied at 7. Now a 3-1 run for Carthage. It's slim, but this is where the run started in sets 1 and 2. Rolling off the tape. High pass to the near pin, triple block again. Diving was Cardenas. Over it goes, no contact on the ceiling. Left hand. Cardenas. High set, picked up, clean again by Mallory. Mallory with the right hand. Blocks unsuccessful. This rally. Heiss goes over the triple. Longest rally of the evening. And at the final moment, number 9, Chris Radomski makes his presence known. Comes away with a nice touch.
That's a great read from Radomski there. Overpass just a bit too much from the back row. I believe that was Bart's on the touch. Morey just not in a great footing position to be able to make a play to cover that. Radomski puts it away.
Oh, the quick one. Ryan Morey pulls a page out of the Ben U Eagles book. And that's the quickest one serve we've seen for Carthage this evening.
Hudson Schweitzer, the great quick swing there. Now checks out as Stover back to the service line.
Rolling over the tape. The overpass, Emmerich redirects. Does Benedictine use a timeout? Coach Stevens asked for the lift, doesn't get the call. Emmerich so quick with that redirection, it often looks like it could be. We have some quality dancing by Ermoon Backloon on the sidelines. Want to give him the shout out. Diving back in, Bartz. Bartz keeps it alive again. Overpass, Bartz a third time. Oh, but a net violation for Carthage.
I believe they're going to call Monahan into the net on that one.
What an effort. 3 times by Bartz. Again, making his presence known not just at the service line, not with the kills, but the back row prowess.
And you can just see the experience on being able to handle the intensity of quick plays. He has shined so far tonight on all ends of the floor.
The back pass. Oh, play of the game for Ben Heiss. He shifted his waist mid-jump to deflect and get the tool kill. That's one of the smartest plays I've seen tonight.
And that's, we mentioned it before, Heiss is able to move all around the court, find any open spot. There is not a spot in your defense that he will not expose. Even mid-air, just readjusting.
The quick one again for Benedictine, unsuccessful. Playable for the Birds of Carthage. Tool again for Monahan. Freshman coming in strong. You could say, you know, when you first heard the news, Owen Otto out for the season, you're like, oh boy. You know, you still expect Firebirds to be good. But again, it just shows the depth that Key Kafer had at his disposal. Another point net violation called against Ben U. We'll see if this is the timeout, and it's not going to be Mike Stevens. Son Catan, Matt Slavinsky, Tom Folliard, alongside grad assistant Noah Chantalangsi. Another point for Carthage, 5-point lead, and it's our first challenge of the season here at Tarble Arena.
Heiss has been missing that back line all night long. He finally gets it there. We'll see if it's for sure. As we will see.
Well, you say to yourself, Justin, no time is better than the present. Here's our brand new split screen for the official review. We're waiting to see if it falls in. And, well,
that is close.
Looks like it goes on the line.
Which on the line is in.
Looks like it's going to be a quick review, R2 with the headset off. And, you know, it's a situation now where if you're the coaches here at the D3 level, if it's inconclusive.
And the interesting thing with volleyball is
point stays.
The other officials don't get to look at it. It is strictly up to the discretion of the R2.
Yeah.
Whereas basketball, everybody gets their look at it, then they go talk to each other, then they go back to the monitor, then they talk to each other again.
So to kind of expound on the hand signals, because he firmly pointed at the bench, that is called stands. If he were to point an arm 75 degrees at the ground along the side, that would be inconclusive, called stands. or you point to the other way, reverse call. So if it's deemed inconclusive, call stands. That means the replay just didn't show enough to overturn what happened in real time. Why is that important? We'll expound after this point. From the Bick, block back down, easy, breezy. Ryan Monahan with another point, and it's the coveted 17-10 lead. That's where if you're the team with 10, if you go 2 for 1 the rest of the way, you can come back. If you're the team up 17-10, if you get to that point 18, the odds are forever in your favor. But going back to the explanation of the inconclusive, they have the privy of all the camera angles that we have here on the broadcast. With that being said, if what they see on that replay doesn't necessarily change their mind one way or another, but is too close to call, second timeout called now by Benedictine, trailing by 8, 18-10. You know, the officials like, look, everything we saw, it's so close to call, we're going to stick with what we said. That builds a confidence of the coaches to know, like, all right, fine, the officials are confident in themselves, they're going to keep it as it is, and the officials say, hey, we're sticking with the play on the court, so that way we know we got it right the first time.
Absolutely, and that way you kind of get a sense, too, of what the officials are looking for with it, if it's too close to call. And, well, the Firebird Broadcasting Network, our crew does a phenomenal job with their multiple camera angles. Not every place in the country has that ability, so you may only get one overhead camera, which you might not be able to see how close it actually was. And there are places, and this goes for other sports as well, where the camera might not catch what happens, and it has to be with what the call stands.
Want to remind everybody, stick around for the post-game show. Head coach J.W. Kiefer will join us up here in the booth for the first post-game show in the season. In the meantime, Pullman Motors, one of our favorite sponsors here at Carthage.
A proud sponsor of Carthage Athletics, Pullman Motors is dedicated to delivering excellence both on and off the field. Whether you need a reliable vehicle or exceptional service, Pullman Motors has you covered. Visit Pullman Motors in Kenosha or online at pullman.com.
(18-10), Carthage, 7 points away from the home sweep in the home opener. Overpass, right out of the gate. Another point for the Firebirds. Coach's point doesn't go the way of Ben Yu.
I think Tarble Arena's starting to feel it a little bit. There was a little bit more energy from the crowd on that point.
Out of play it goes, service error by Ben Heiss.
I think Heiss knew right on contact that wasn't a good serve. Made a grunt almost like a tennis player on a serve, or any hit for a tennis player, I guess.
Coach Kiefer telling the bench, start warming up. You might get some reps here in the third. Quick pass over the middle. Emmerich out of play, no touch. Point goes to Benedictine. They're back within 7. You know, this is a situation now. If Carthage gets that 20 point, they still have both their timeouts. They have plenty of subs. Served by Van Engen. High pass to the left side. And 4 hits called against Carthage.
Benedictine taking a little bit of exception there to the roll shot that ended up getting into their huddle. Coach Mike Stevens is saying, like, let it go, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe there was any malintention with it. It was just hitting the ball over for the 4th touch.
Out of play it goes. And for the 20th point, in comes number 20, the 6'7" middle, Cooper Cantrell, the freshman out of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Played for Marquette University High School, one of the best high school boys programs in the state.
Kolitz also back in the set. Have to figure he'll be in the rotation the rest of the way here.
Yes, he will. And that stays down, not able to clean it up, is Bartz. Just like that, Maury and Heiss come back into the contest. Waiting for the go-ahead now. And ace! How about that? Benedictine's number 18, Tucker Lambert, getting an ace. A second ace of the evening for Benedictine. They're back within 5. It's been a 5-1 run. Make that 5-2. Schweitzer coming back in now. And once again, Cantrell. And once again, Joey Kolwitz. Kolwitz, the senior out of Worthington, Ohio.
Smart move by Coach Kiekefer. You got the rotations or the subs to burn. Keep your starters in on serve receive.
Yeah.
And let some of these other guys get some chances when you have the serve in your control.
And going under the net, and you can't do that as Monahan. So, just like the past 2 points, out goes Kolwitz, out goes Cantrell, and in comes Heiss, and in comes Maury. Still a 5-point lead. 6-2 run for Ben U. Carthage hoping to close things out. Benedictine going libero-less at the conclusion of this third set. Ben, Heiss. Wow. Wow.
That swing might have been his best of the night. That was beautiful.
Carthage hitting .304 on the evening. Negative .014 for Ben U. 32-19 the kill differential. Everything coming up for Carthage. That near side kill stays in for Radomski. And again, it's only a matter of time before Radomski starts finding his groove.
And it's tough to have to start your season on a road in such a hostile environment like this, as far as just the competition, the energy that the Tarble Arena crowd can bring. It's hard to get into rhythm on the road, let alone at a place like this.
To the left side, poked up Monahan. Set to the back row, Mallory on the spot. Ben U sets up, out of play. Radomski thought he got the touch, thought it stayed in, got neither. And Benedictine, so I thought they had already used 2. I guess I stand corrected. And I guess one of the earlier ones was for Carthage. So
it's just showing, based on the play-by-play,
yeah,
it's just showing timeouts for Benedictine in 2 of them.
And this being the second or this being the third?
I believe it's only the second as far as what I'm seeing here on the play-by-play. So maybe we're thinking of the challenge.
You know what? Regardless of what we're thinking of, the Champions Club. Justin, tell us about it.
Invest in champions, invest in the future. Introducing the Carthage Athletics Champions Club. Join a community of alumni, parents, and friends whose generous support enriches the Firebird experience and drives Carthage athletics forward. Carthage student athletes are more than game changers. They are leaders, team builders, and future innovators. Your support helps them thrive academically, athletically, and beyond. Become a champion for our champions. Visit athletics.carthage.edu to give to the Champions Club today.
Carthage leads 2-0, 2 points away from the home sweep. I can't keep track of anything anymore. It's getting our early season knocking the rust off as well, I guess. And a service error, so the coach's point goes to Benedictine. Serving now is Radomski. Picked up Radomski, back row. Over the middle. Nice play by Thomas. And just like that, lead down to 4. It was a 9-point lead. It is now down to 4. A 9-4 run. From the Bick, another point. It is down to 3. A 10-4 run for Benedictine.
Gotta wonder with the 2 timeouts in his pocket, are those timeouts getting a little warm for Coach Kiekefer?
I would say one more, it's going to heat up. The overpass. And indeed, timeout called. Benedictine on absolute fire, an 11-4 run in what many felt was going to be a runaway sweep for Carthage. Benedictine says not so fast. And while we have a moment, Justin, we also want to thank, before we get to the statistics, the Doctors of Physical Therapy.
Get back to your best. Doctors of Physical Therapy offers personalized care for musculoskeletal health. With the motto, get better, faster. They help you recover safely. Visit doctorsofphysicaltherapy.com to find a location near you. I haven't had to say musculoskeletal since anatomy class sophomore year of high school.
I'm proud of you.
That was, I had to count my vowels there.
18-11 is the service error differential, 7-2 the service ace differential. But right now in set number 3, Benedictine, it's the first set they're hitting above 0. They're hitting 065, but Carthage on the flip side, they hit 400 in set number 2. They're hitting 259 in set 3. Respectable, of course, sitting at 11 kills, but only 1 ace. Kiekefer calls the timeout. Carthage 2 away from the sweep, but Ben Yu making it very, very interesting.
And I think Carthage kind of took their foot off the gas a bit, trying to mess around, get some depth pieces in for some experience, and Benedictine didn't back down and worked their way back into the set.
Mallory, huge dig. To the near pin, self-preservation for Bartz. Ben Yu is 1 away from tying it up. A 12-4 run. Can they make it 13? Maury to the left pin. Cardenas with the pass from the Bick. Poked over, Mallory with the up. The back. Heiss. Still alive for Benedictine. The block. Barth underneath it. Over the top, did they hit the net? Yes, he did. Monahan touches the net. Currently, it's tied at 23 after a 13-4 run, but head coach J.W. Kiekefer calling for the review.
And I think the biggest thing out of that play that stood out to me was the save by Connor Harry for Benedictine off the Ben High swing. The second, Maury went right as we now take a look at the review of the play and challenge.
So again, we have multiple camera angles. The official talking with the replay crew. Shout out to executive producer John Voinovich. It's a long rally. And I think they're trying to say, did he step on the line on the serve? So watch the toe. Oh boy, that might be on the line. Oh boy.
It might be good for him to be wearing white shoes right now. That might be the one thing that saves Benedictine, because with that angle,
I mean, there is not a sliver to live on.
And by the reaction of Mike Stevens, it seems like this might be going Carthage's way. No, it stays.
No, they're saying in. Nope, he pointed in. Oh! They're saying he touched the line. Point goes to Carthage.
I was seeing the arm angle from where we're at is the 75 you were talking about.
Yeah, no, if he does it with the whole hand open,
Gotcha.
he pointed with his finger. Wow. That is absolutely something we're going to have to ask Kiekefer about. What made him want to challenge that?
And what a monumental turn of events here.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely pivotal moment in this match.
Match point. Over the middle, Maury. Monahan. To the near pin. Triple block. That's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. Carthage with a absolute game-changing challenge. Toe on the line. And then get the triple block and come away victorious 25-22. Wow. Justin, from the momentum, from the review, through that last triple block, sigh of relief for the Firebirds, but that reversal of that prior point, huge. And again, you can even say that's a production point, because if they don't get that right angle, call would have stood.
Absolutely, and I mean, just even if they don't get the call there, just the idea to challenge for Coach Kiekefer there, take advantage of the new rule and have an opportunity to at least kill the momentum even just by stalling it out a bit, but then to get the call right, to make the right decision and force it to match point with a 2-point lead instead. Absolutely incredible call by Coach Kiekefer there.
We're going to take a timeout. The post-game show coming up in just a few minutes. Head coach J.W. Kiekefer, undefeated, 2-0 to start the 2026 campaign on the road to National Championship number 3. We'll be back in just a few minutes on the CCIW Network. Welcome into the postgame show here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network, of course now part of the CCIW Network, joined by winning head coach J.W. Kiekefer. Coach, talk us through my favorite question so far, that challenge that went your way. What made you remember or want to do that? Because it's so hard to call a challenge or a review on the foot on the line.
Yeah, it's our first match using it.
Yeah.
I've used it one other time. We played Purdue Fort Wayne like 3 years ago in 2023, so it's been a while since I've used it. You watch other coaches use it all the time, and thanks John Wojnowicz and for helping us kind of go through that process of figuring out how to use the basketball system to make it work for volleyball. So really thankful for John and for Mike Love for their help to get that going. It was close. We got, obviously they're on that really long service run after we got up 22 to 18 or whatever, and we just struggled to pass that ball. It's a really good serve by Radomski on the sideline there, and onto a freshman Monahan who played incredible all match, just kind of let that one run go by. And it was close. It was more just like, it's close, you might as well challenge it. You get two of them, otherwise it's a timeout, right? And I had just taken a timeout, so it made more sense to challenge it than call a timeout, especially if it was a close one. I wasn't sure. I obviously it was close, I thought, but I wasn't sure. It was more just like you might as well use it, or you get a free timeout. And hell yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, when you see it on the replay later on, it literally, if we joked if he didn't have a white shoe, maybe it wouldn't have gone his way. It was right on the line, but we say it was a production point.
Yeah.
So
cool to get it done, and again, a lot of work that went into that to get that process going, and thankful to John and Mike. And cool. Obviously, that changes the match. 23-23 is very different than 24-22.
Yeah.
Now, going to service line, still keeping with that theme so far. 9 service errors in the first set, 9 total between sets 2 and 3 for your team. What went right? What kind of got cleaned up and kind of got into a rhythm at the service line for you guys?
Yeah, we're just a really aggressive team. Like, you can see the physicality across the net from this entire group. And so, in the men's game, you're going to make a lot of serves, you're going to miss a lot of serves, but if you can bring the heat, it's going to pay off. And so 18, I think, is like maybe 1 or 2 too many. But I think Ben Heiss back there, made that big run in set 3, which got us going. He had 4 there. Then he comes out in set 3 and makes the run. And I think that's what's cool about this team this year. We got 5 spin servers that can really bring the heat. Hudson included. He gets subbed out a lot for a server off the bench, and Eric Stover did a fantastic job in that role today. We had Ryan Kelly and Michael Yem in that role against Lakeland, and we got a lot of different guys that can do different things from that role. And I get to be a coach and try to find an advantage. And today, we really thought the advantage was the spin serve and getting them off the net, and it showed all day today from all of our servers. Ben Heiss, big run at the end there. I thought Ryan Bartz had some big runs. Ruben got 2 aces there. Monahan, for a freshman, was unreal today in his first start, and did a great job from the baseline as well. So all 5 of them from the baseline doing a great job with the spin serve and bringing heat.
Take us through kind of the 2 newcomer Ryans, Monahan and Bartz. What led to them coming here, and what led to their success right off the bat tonight?
Well, man, are we lucky that we got 2 guys like that to come into the program. Our entire left side group is fantastic. Justin Ishii got the start against Lakeland on Tuesday. Eric Stover is a fantastic volleyball player as well. You saw him serve today. You got the first team All-American and Owen Otto hurt with the ACL, and that's unfortunate. He's going to be out the entire year. But, and then Owen Hendricks was cleared to play today, but it was his first day cleared. And so it was going to be tough to get him ready to go play, and that's why you have depth, so you can use it. And Ryan Bartz is pretty special, pretty local kid here from Muskego. Has played club with a lot of these guys, and is a pretty impressive athlete over the top of the block, bringing some pace. And he's a pretty fun-loving kid, and that's kind of like everybody was kind of talking to him, like kind of bringing the energy and saying, like, that's the first time we've seen you compete, because he's been back to loving volleyball after the transfer from Ball State. Wow. And so, like, getting him to see him compete and play hard and hit the crap out of it has been big. He's a pretty special athlete. And then, same thing with Ryan Monahan. He's a pretty special athlete as well. Pretty awesome getting the recruiting trail to get both those guys. And so you have your 2 retuning juniors, outside hitters, who are both basically All-Americans. They're both out, and you go to 2 different guys, and they're just as good. It's a pretty special program to be a part of, and thankful they wanted to be a part of it, and they could add us in plenty of ways, and you saw how we're going to use them today. So
yeah, we're excited for where that goes. Talk us through the next few days. before you get to MSOE back here Tuesday night. What's going to look like now? You had one at home. You're going to be at home for the next few days for the practices. What's going to be happening here at Tarble?
Yeah, MSOE is a really, really good volleyball team. You know, the same level as that Benedictine team. I think both that Benedictine team, this MSOE team, I think are both top 20 teams in the country. Obviously, both not ranked right now, but their talent is pretty high. And so, you know, we get a couple of days off. They're going to lift tomorrow, not practice, and then get Saturday off. We come back on Sunday and get a practice in, and Monday get a practice in and play on Tuesday. So, you know, keep working on the service pressure, trying to take a couple more errors out, trying to put a couple more errors in. I think the serve reception is going to be a big area of focus. When we pass the ball really well, we were elite, and just this team isn't set up to pass the ball perfectly all the time. So we got to get a lot more reps there. And just continue to run the middle. I think our middles are two of the best in the country. Offensively, we didn't quite get them going great today. I think that was part of our service. Our serve reception wasn't perfect, but they blocked the ball unreal today. I think 10 blocks as a team is unbelievable in 3 sets. That's a crazy high number. Our middles were awesome in the block phase. Everybody was awesome in the block phase, and I thought Monahan did a great job, you know, as a freshman in the block phase, in that net play phase with the swipes, pushes, rolls, tips, and Ben Heist too. Like, you know, to place Ryan Bartz and Ryan Monahan into the system where we play a lot of net play at the net, swipe, push, roll. It's cool to see those guys get implemented into the system and get into the system early in their careers with us.
Yeah, it's the future is always bright, and the road to banner number 3 started tonight at home with another win. Coach, congratulations. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here. You guys make this broadcast awesome.
Thank you, Coach. Again, that was J.W. Kiefer. As you always like to say, Justin, you're going to pay him tomorrow for that nice compliment. But with that being said, if you want to expound on any of the comments of which he said.
I think he hit it on the head. Just being able to bring new guys into the system year in and year out has just been really awesome. And these are guys that enjoy playing volleyball. You mentioned Bart's at D1 wasn't loving playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Came here. Now he's starting to have fun, hit the ball better, be competitive. And that's just kind of been the Carthage mentality under Coach Kiefer.
Yep. Let's look at the upcoming CCIW Network schedule. Look at stats first. Stats first, Justin. It's our first game of the year.
First game,
volleyball. So
also, to stop you there, just looking at the out-of-town
please.
scoreboard, Concordia Chicago took set 3 from Illinois Wesleyan, 44-42.
one more time.
44-42 in a set. That's a basketball score on a defensive game right there.
Wow.
That is, I'm glad we didn't have to call that set tonight.
Wow.
Shout out to the CUC crew for having to work that one. But anyways, back to our stats presented by Paulman Auto Stores, located in Kenosha and Racine. Kills even 24 apiece. Carthage, though, controlling the hit percentage, 295 to .024. Sets favoring Carthage 29-23. Service aces 7-2 for the way of the Birds. 18 service aces. That is more than Benedictine's 11. Carthage, once again, as Coach Kiefer mentioned, 10 blocks to Benedictine's 4. Diggs pretty even, 33-29 in favor of Carthage.
Again, now it is time to look at the upcoming CCIW Network schedule. Friday, tomorrow, women's wrestling and men's wrestling as they welcome UW Stevens Point. Saturday, swim and dive versus the Scarlet Hawks of Illinois Tech. And we are back next Tuesday, men's volleyball versus MSOE. And then we're going to the network, baby. Women's hoops versus Illinois Wesleyan next Wednesday. There's no better rivalry than in the CCIW than Carthage and the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan. That'll be televised next week and also simulcast on the CCIW network. We want to thank you for being with us this Thursday. I had to think about it, Justin, because we were here last night, but Thursday, so next Tuesday, the next game, once again, for executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, for Emma directing, great job, first ever volleyball game directing by Emma. John on graphics and replay. I do appreciate he put class of 2010 up there. And then Ryder and Owen, a fully student and grad produced broadcast here on the CCIW network. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions in Carthage College, copyright 2026. Once again, for Justin Coorigan, I'm Peter Ferreri. In the Battle of the Birds, Carthage sweeps Benedictine 3-0. We'll see everybody on Tuesday.